Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist. We are continuing with our series on the numerology of your name. So, in this video, we are going to discuss the numerology of the first vowel in your name. Okay, so the first vowel is going to be the first vowel that shows up in your first name. All right, a vowel, as a reminder, A-E-I-O-U. Sometimes Y, sometimes W. I will just say, as a side note, I never consider the W a vowel in my practice of numerology, but I always, if you follow my work, you know that I'm someone who is always going to present different schools of thought, different ideas, and it's up to each of us to determine what feels right to us. And yet, let's go with simplicity right now. A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y, sometimes W. So we're going to use the full name as it appears on your birth certificate. As a reminder, you are learning Pythagorean numerology here. This comes from Pythagoras. There are different kinds of numerology, and yet this is what we're going over today. So here is the basic rubric or the chart about how to translate the letters of the alphabet into numbers. So we're going to translate 1 through 9, and then kind of like an old typewriter, we're going to go back, right? So 1 through 9, and then we are just giving each letter a numerical value. So what I would do is get out a piece of pen and paper, write this down. You can pause. Get out your phone, make notes, do a screenshot, whatever it is. But if you're going to look even more so into the numerology of your name with this series, you'll need this chart no matter what. Okay, so I will give you just a little cheat sheet here for the vowels, the values that go with the vowels. The A is a 1, the E is a 5, the I is a 9, the O is a 6, the U is a 3, the Y is a 7, and the W is a 5. All right, so what is the first vowel? What does it signify? So, what does it bring to our understanding about ourselves and about other people in our lives? So, the first vowel is really reflective of the inner self. It's kind of interesting because in numerology, if you know about numerology and the core numbers, the heart's desire or the soul urge number, those are two. That's the same thing, two different names, two different two different ways of thinking about it. Heart's desire, soul urge. And basically that's from your full name, the vowels in your full name. So if you step back and look at the first vowel of your name, this has a kind of similar resonance. And yet this gives you kind of the initial meeting and greeting of the world from the internal self. So it is a secret or kind of hidden aspect of yourself from others, right? It's kind of things that you don't really share with everyone. Only those close to you might be aware of this aspect of who you are. It's kind of like this deeper you, what drives you internally. And yet it's also, it really is how you're meeting up with the outside world from your internal viewpoint of yourself. I hope that makes sense. So let's do some examples here. The first vowel in Nathaniel is an A, and the A translates into a number 1. The first vowel in the name Meredith is an E, and the E translates into a 5. So let's do a review here. So we're reviewing the first vowel in your name. We've got the letter values there for you if you still need to make notes and be understanding of what's going on with your name. So the meaning here is that the first vowel in your first name holds added significance, and it shows your innate approach to life and how your soul, like the soulful aspect of you, resonates in the outer world. How does that part of you meet up with the outer world? And this is how you meet and greet the world from that angle, right? From that aspect of who you are. So here we have the numbers 1 through 9, the master numbers 11, 22, 33. And those are going to, I mean, I just came up with two words, two themes to do a real brush stroke about how you might understand which number shows up for you. If you really want to dig deep, and I hope you do, because I find numerology offers a really deep depth of information. If you want to go there, if you want to dig into it. And yet, just for our purposes right now, each of the numbers 1 through 9, the 1, again, the leadership, the number 1, the assertion, the independence, all the way to the 9, that compassion, the humanitarianism, the forgiveness, the empathy, all of those aspects can come into play. So it just gives you a little bit of a brushstroke or an idea about how this plays out. So let's look at it. So Nathaniel, that A is a 1. And so we might interpret this because, of course, numerology is a science and yet very much an interpretive art. So, how we might interpret this is that the internal approach to life with someone named Nathaniel is one that values independence, innovative ideas, coming out on top, and rewards for being different or unique. The way to align with this hidden part of yourself, if your name happens to be Nathaniel, or if you have a 1 as your first vowel, is with a take charge and a very confident attitude. Those are the elements, the positive elements of the number 1. Always remember, I'm always going to remind you that whenever we're working with any of the numbers, we are going to be shooting for the optimal aspects. And yet we're also going to come up with challenge points and kind of be challenged with the opposite of that, of whatever the number signifies. So in this case, the opposite is that Nathaniel may be a little bit acquiescing, maybe a little bullheaded, and wants to be the center of attention, and yet tries to get that center of attention not very productively, right? Maybe wants to be large and in charge, but doesn't have the self-confidence, has self-esteem issues, is very codependent in life. So again, we can look at the different ways that it might show up for us, and what we're here to learn and to grow into and to grow out of. All right. So let's move it over to the next example. Meredith, that E is a number 5. So someone with an E as their first vowel, if your name's Meredith or whatever your name might be. If your name is Edith, you have the same. So it's a 5. So the internal approach to life for those with a 5 vowel that they start out with is one that values freedom, versatility, trying new things, and also really very much values sensuous experience and not being told what to do or not being caged in. Anyone with a 5, do not fence them in, do not tell them what to do. Okay, so that is a real foundational driver when you have this as your first vowel. The way to align with this hidden part of yourself is with an adventurous, fearless, and upbeat attitude. And once again, we can always struggle with the opposite. So that is giving you a really good idea of the first vowel. Take a look at the rest of the series if you would like to have more information about the numerology of your name.